Welcome back to my channel. Today, let's go over a Leetcode medium question in the database section that I just solved on my own. So I'm really happy about this, and I'm glad that I was able to come up with my own solution to this question without any assistance and solve it on my own. So let me show you how I did it. This is the latest question on Leetcode. It's called Find Loyal Customers. So you basically have 3 transactions, and then you just want to find customer IDs that satisfy these 3 transactions or requirements. So basically that just means that you have to make sure there are at least 3 purchase transactions for that customer identified by the customer ID, and then also at least 30 days. So the smallest date and the largest date have to be at least 30, and then the refund rate is less than 20. So total, everything, every log, every row for that customer, the refund rate has to be less than 20%. So let's go ahead and get all the purchase transactions first and then find the dates. So let's call this purchases and dates, and then refund rate. Let's make this a default dictive type list as well, and then the refund rate, let's go ahead and make that also a default dictive type list, and then let's iterate over this and get the customer ID. Let's iterate over this column, C and enumerate customer transactions, customer ID, and then so purchases. So if we care about the purchase transactions, if the current transaction type of I is equal to purchase, then we care about it, right? If we're on here, if this is purchase, then we can say purchases for that particular customer ID plus equals to 1. And then at the end, we're just going to check if this is at least 3 for that customer, C. And then at least 30 days, so dates, C dot append transaction customer transactions. We're just going to append the current date. Of I, and then we're going to sort that because we want to quickly be able to scan the first and the last, make sure it's at least 30. And then also the refund rate. Well, for this one, we're just going to append all of the transactions so we can later calculate the ratio. Transaction type of I. So always including that, in contrast to this. Transaction type of I. Okay, cool. So now let's go over purchases, because that's going to be for each customer. We're basically going over each ID that's unique because they're keys in this dictionary. So cool. At least 3 purchases. So if purchases of P is bigger than or equal to 3, and if they have been active for at least 30 days, so let's go ahead and print P dates of P and then RR of C, because it's not been ruled out yet for this customer. Let's make this of type integer. Okay, so now we can just go ahead and say active for at least 30 days. So first date, last date is dates of P of -1 minus dates P of 0. And we have to convert this to a date time. Nice function in pandas to do that. And then let's go ahead and we actually have to make this a string now. Wait, no. Dates P of -1. Okay. So the difference, let's just call this. So let's print difference. Okay, so you can see this is days. So now let's just make a list, and then split it to get this guy, and then turn this back into an integer. So let's do string of this dot split from the spaces and get the first element, and then say if int of diff is bigger than or equal to 30, then now ruling out another batch. So, okay, so 101, 102, 104, and 102, the refund rate is less than 20%, so let's call this ref rate is going to be so RRC dot count of refunds divided by the total length, the total transactions we ever had. So if ref rate is less than 0.2, or because sometimes it doesn't have any refunds or refunds not in RRC. So if refunds is not in here, then that's also valid. In that case, we can just go ahead and print P. Okay, so okay, at least 3 purchases. At least 30 days. The refund rate is less than 20%. Yep. 102 looks valid too, so I'm not sure why there's... So the difference is... Huh. Okay, so let's do 102. How many transactions are in total? Transactions for that customer. Refund rate less than 20%. Huh, that's weird. So let's do diff. The difference $36, yeah, that's fine. And then the purchases, how many purchases are 102? 1, 2, 3. Why are there so many purchases on this one for that particular customer ID? At least 3 purchases, and then let's say let's print RRC. Yeah, there are way too many purchases for this one. 1, 2. So, not sure why this is popping up like this. Oh, RR of P, sorry. Why are we doing C? Right. Print P. Huh. Yeah, RR of P dot counts refunds. Okay, here we go. So this has to be strictly less than, oh, or refund. Sorry, not refunds. Okay, there we go. Cool. So just a bit of a typo there. And then we have to append P and then sort it, fill in that last column. set the customer ID equal to that one top to down, and then return that data frame. Okay, let's run this. Okay, submit it. And there you go, passes all test cases. So again, I'm really glad that I was able to come up with my own solution to this question without any help and solve it completely on my own. So guessing this is a new question, so there's no runtime in memory. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.